Angelica Herlihy of Grand Forks, BC. It's the Save on Foods $1 million touchdown to win. If a kickoff's returned to pay dirt in this one, could be a $10,000 home theater package. If it happens twice, could be $1 million. Good luck. Angelica off to Montreal. Dustin Nielsen and Matt Dunnigan.
A picture-perfect day in Montreal is where Super Saturday begins. 9 hours of football coverage here on TSN. About to kick off with first-place Ticats visiting the second-place Alouettes. The clubs split their first 2 meetings of the season. Both teams winning at home. The rubber match just about to get underway at Percival Molson Stadium.
Vernon Adams loves playing the Hamilton Ticats. 2-1 against this football team. 9-4 as a starter for the Owls. Really's got this team shouldered on that number 8. And right here, Dane Evans. This kid has been spectacular in the absence of Jeremiah Masoli. This football team has grown more confident each week as this young quarterback takes the field.
Rolando Steinauer, first season calling the shots for the Ticats, and what a season it's been. Franchise record 13 wins so far, first ever to do it in the history of the Ticats. On the other side, Kahari Jones, excellent first year as well. 6-2 at home. They've been alternating wins and losses over their last 6, but they have won 4 in a row at home here in Montreal, and they'll be kicking the ball away to start this game. Boris Beatty set to fire it away, and we'll be interested to see how this game plays out from a couple of different perspectives. Obviously, could be a preview of the East Final, depending on what happens in the semifinal. As this ball be kicked away and come down to Frankie Williams at the 5. He'll get it back to the 15, now the 20, and Williams eventually manages his way up past the 25, and that is where the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Dane Evans will come out to start the football game.
Yeah, and this kid has been on fire as of late, just lighting it up. The numbers don't even speak volumes for what this kid has done for this football team. The absence of Jeremiah Masoli, can sling it all the yards, not afraid to throw it deep, and he adds another valuable piece to that puzzle when Luke Tasker comes back in the lineup today.
Evans in the shotgun, starting on his own 28. Tyrell Sutton standing in to his right. He'll fake the handoff to Sutton, keep it, and throw it over on the near side to Brandon Banks, who is closing in on the all-time franchise record for catches in a season.
And you know, this guy, Tyrell Sutton's going to have a lot of attention and eyes on him, as they should. And Hamilton uses that to advantage right out of the gate. And Luke Tasker, another weapon for offensive coordinator Tommy Condell to utilize, and Chris Van Zyl, veteran tackle, starting his 163rd game today.
You got Banks, you got Braylon Addison, now you're throwing Luke Tasker back in the mix. A lot to work with.
Just crazy.
For Dane Evans here, 2nd and 5. Evans is going to take off now, pitches it ahead, and that'll be enough for the first down as he found Tyrell Sutton just kind of standing there.
Yeah, and we saw that last week too. And when I believe it was Ackland climbed the ladder on one of these shovel passes from Dane Evans. It's becoming his trademark, and ran a little option back in the day. You can see that. He feels very adept at flicking it out in front of him, and he finds Sutton. They move the chains. Heads up play by the young quarterback.
There's an Alouette down on the field at about the 40, and that is defensive lineman Antonio Simmons. Staff coming out here. Looked like he wanted to get up and walk off, and now they're not even gonna, well, maybe they'll take a look at him. Big part of this Montreal defense, and here's the rest of that crew.
Yeah, and a guy that was having a seat last week, John Bowman, he's back in the lineup, veteran guy of 14 years. Everybody knows him, as they should, because he lives in the backfield with just 134 career sacks. And then this is a change right in the middle for this defense. And Enoch Mwumba's out of the lineup today. It's DJ Lalama, third-year player from the University of Manitoba, takes over not only a middle linebacker spot, but he's doing the long snap. And on the back end, another guy replacing one of the best, in my opinion, and Taylor Loeffler. You got Boseko Lacombo. They call him Bo Lacombo. First-year free safety, bringing a lot of similarities to what Taylor Loeffler brought, and that's physicality to this Montreal defense.
We chatted with Lacombo yesterday, and Matt, you really like the way he's kind of learning the position and kind of starting to come into his own.
Yeah, and he says he's 6'2", goes more like 6'3", closer to 6'4", about 225 pounds. Physical player, just like the guy he's replacing, Taylor Loeffler.
They'll hand this off to Sutton, but he is tracked down in the backfield. Excellent job. Woody Barron, I believe, the first in to get an arm on him.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you want to be able to do. Stop the run, force second and long. So you got to think they're going to rely on Sutty here. And Montreal defense says no. Not right now.
Second down here, and now facing 12 yards to pick up the first down. They've got to get this ball up to the 50. Two receivers to the wide side left of Evans. Some pressure coming up the middle. Guns it. That was in and out of the hands of Banks. Would have been short of the first down anyway, and that'll bring up a third down situation here for the Ticats on their first possession.
Yeah, and Dane threw a strike in here and threw it right through the hands of Speedy B, who was laying out for it. So tight window, he had to slide to his left. Probably affected that throw a little bit as he's coming underneath levels there, and he can't secure it.
Aroulahu standing on his 25 will let this fly. And that will come down at the 32, taken there. And right up the middle by Shakir Ryan. He pushes it through, moves the pile a bit up to about the 45-yard line. And that is where Vernon Adams and the Montreal Alouettes offense will roll onto the field. And they've been excellent at home as of late. 4 consecutive wins. Adams will try to keep that rolling next. Montreal, we are underway. The Alouettes with Vernon Adams, and what a season he's had, Matt.
Yeah, he certainly has. 9-4 in the year. Really got this team going in the right direction. Got the fans believing. In fact, this atmosphere at McGill Percival Stadium is absolutely phenomenal. Oh, this is a double pass here.
It is exactly what happened. Winicky down the field, and that'll be complete inside the 40. As he found Quan Bray, and how's that for a start for the Montreal Alouettes?
Yeah, you can definitely see it based on Winicky and his release in the formation. And he goes to your right. Vernon throws a lateral here, gives Winicky an opportunity to set his feet and throw a duck. And you can see he's tentative, and he's been thinking about that for a while because that's been in the game plan. And they got her done. It just wasn't exactly how they anticipated.
I was wondering how you were going to describe that one.
That was a duck.
Yeah. Here's Adams this time, and now they'll hand it off. That'll be pushed right ahead by Johnson, and he'll take it down inside the 35. A look at the Alouettes offense.
Yeah, and Quan Bray is going to have a lot more attention, as we saw right there, is because Devere Posey, one of the mainstays, out of the lineup today, so I expect Bray, a first-year player from Auburn, to get a lot of attention. And Jeremiah Johnson, everybody's talking about Suddy coming back and William Stanback, and he's fine with people sleeping on him. He just wants to fly under the radar and produce for this football team. And Christian Matt, he's the veteran in the center of that offensive line with 104 starts.
Adams, last second changes here to move Johnson back into his right. Now Flair Johnson out to the right, comes right over the middle, and that will be complete to Matthews. And Matthews turns around and rolls ahead for what I believe to be a first down.
Yeah, and I like that. It doesn't look like much here. It's a dump down, but watch where Vernon Adams places this football. As the linebacker's on the outside shoulder of Chris Matthews there. He throws on the inside shoulder, giving him the read to turn back inside, which gives him an opportunity to pick up a first down. That's a called play. That's where you spot the football helping out your receiver.
It's one of the things that Vernon Adams told us earlier in the season, how he's just kind of learned how to just take what they give him once in a while and keep his team on the field.
And although it looks like a little dump down, that's well executed because he threw it on the right shoulder.
And now here's an interception inside the 30. Looked like they were trying to set up a screen, but Simone Lawrence was all over it and picks it off.
That's Simone Lawrence, 12th career interception, third of the season. He read that play. He had nothing doing. He saw what was going on. He saw the screen developing. Simone steps right in front of it. That's a huge play to begin this football game.
Defense strikes early here, and what a defense it has been for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, led by that man right there, Simone Lawrence.
Simone Lawrence is right here, and he gets his third of the year as he watches this back, Terrell Sutton, come out here, and he trips right about here, gives the veteran linebacker an opportunity to step right in front of the running back to see him trying to get hiding, and he falls down. And Simone says, Merry Christmas.
Not going to get an easier one than that, are you?
That's right, trick or treat. And that's a pretty nice job. I mean, he read the play to his credit. That's film study, and that's being prepared. Made that happen.
Here's Evans back out here. Fakes the handoff, now looks far side of the field, up for grabs. That'll be complete to Banks. And he's eventually tracked down by Patrick Levels, but the ball moved on to the Montreal side of the field.
Yeah, I consider Dane Evans a gunslinger, and he's got a cannon for an arm, and he shows it off right there. That's a long throw. And you can be confident because Speedy B's going to have some respect out there. DB's playing way off, and he's able to climb the ladder and pull that down for a big game.
The Alouettes defense responds, though. Greg Reed busting through and tracking him down.
What a year he's having. I love this back, deep halfback for Montreal. Very, very aggressive. Second-year player from Florida State. He's coming right off the top, times it perfectly, and he's in the backfield before things can unfold for Dane Evans in the play call. And disruptive Greg Reed having a season.
A loss of 7, setting up 2nd and 17 here for Evans. Complete inside the 50. Not going to be enough for the first down as he gets the ball to Braylon Addison for the first time today.
Yeah, and this is one of those plays you take what the defense is giving you, and hopefully the receiver can make something happen. But Montreal, they knew it was up. They're playing the sticks and let everything happen in front of them, come up and make a tackle. That's exactly what they did, get off the football field.
That'll bring Haurelahu back out here onto the field. And he'll stand near midfield on his own 46.
Tunde Adeleke is a little late add in there at the gunner position.
Haurelahu lets it fly. And that's going to come down to Greg Reed. And flies out of bounds as Haurelahu pins the Alouettes nicely on that play as Vernon Adams will head back out onto the field after throwing an early interception on the first offensive drive of the game for Alouettes. He'll look to get back on track next. Welcome back to Montreal. Dustin Nielsen and Matt Dunnigan hitting leadoff, I guess, here today, you could say, as we've got 9 hours of football coverage underway. Red Blacks and Argos, game number 2 here on this triple header Super Saturday, and then later on tonight, a big one for the Riders as they are in Edmonton to take on the Eskimos, the first of a home-and-home there to wrap up the season. Adams.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Swings it out with a little bit of room, and that'll be moved ahead. Close to a first down there, and why not get it to Eugene Lewis? Excellent season. He's closing in on 1,000 yards.
Sure is. Got about, well, you got 11 or 12 there, probably about 5 away. I like it. You know, they gave this first look, and they threw the ball to Winicky. Now they're going to do the same thing with Eugene Lewis coming out, but this is not a lateral. It's a forward pass, and hits him in stride. Is able to make a couple of moves and pick up a first down, getting out of their own end.
Bray and Winicky trying to clear some room up there for Lewis. It worked. First down now. They'll work from the 22 here for Vernon Adams. Quan Bray swings in underneath him. Now they'll come over on the near side, and that one should have been picked off. That was thrown right into the hands of Brooks.
Yeah, this is Carriel Brooks read his mail here. He's just waiting in the zone coverage area outside, and he's just baiting the quarterback, hoping he throws it out. Watch him. He's right here, and he just kind of drifts in this area right outside here, and he waits. He sees it unfold, and he jumps the route, and he can't squeeze it. Otherwise, there's a walk-in touchdown for Carriel.
Adams gets away with one there, leaves him at 2nd and 10. 3 receivers to his right. Comes over on the near side. Eugene Lewis wide open. And they're going to say he stepped out of bounds just inside the 35, and then a late hit and a flag flies.
A little ticky-tack there, but yeah, it puts him over 1,000 there. Congratulations to Eugene. It's a big throw for VA at this point of the game, getting out of his own end even more so. And
number 26, 15 yards at the end of this play with an automatic first down.
It looked like a little shove, and he really didn't know if the play was whistled dead or not. And as he gets up, take another look at it. High points it. Big, tall receiver steps out of bounds right there, and then he gets the whistle had just been blown. I don't know. That's a tough call there on Hamilton for sure. Montreal will take it.
That's his 23rd catch of the year for a 2nd down conversion. So he's been clutch for Vernon Adams so far this season. Now they'll hand it off. Jeremiah Johnson right up the middle. And he's got a big one. Takes it down inside the 45.
I said, pardon? Yeah, this is sweet. And watch and he's going to have all kinds of room up front here. It's just zone for blocking here. And he goes up there and just presses the hole, steps up in there, and just runs to daylight. Untouched for about 10 yards down the field. Jeremiah Johnson happy to take a back seat to William Stanback and let people sleep on him so he can bust off big plays like that.
He was telling us earlier today that when he starts, he's had good games.
Yeah. Only one 100-yard game. He averages just over 40 yards a ball game because he doesn't get many touches because of the other guy.
This time, Adams will keep it, puts on the brakes. He's in trouble. So he'll just tuck it into his belly and concede the sack there to Justin Tuggle. That'll be his first of the season if Adams didn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Justin adjusts. You know, he's making plays in the middle now. And you know, we saw him in Toronto a couple of years and played well for them. And he comes over here and he's starting in middle linebacker, 74 tackles on the season. And like you mentioned, Justin got his first, and he'll take it.
Adams, 2nd and 11 on the Hamilton 43. Some pressure this time. Adams gets it away, and that'll be complete. Back to Mr. Steady, Eugene Lewis. 3rd catch of the drive.
Nice job by Vernon Adams sitting in that pocket there as he's got Simone Lawrence breathing down his neck in his kitchen sink in a heartbeat. And he's coming right across here. He's coming right underneath. And you watch VA, and you watch the attention he draws from the linebacker coming scot-free, and he delivers a strike to Lewis and move the chains. Puts him in 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 when it's all said and done. And the offense will stay on the field with just over 4 minutes remaining here in a scoreless opening quarter. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field here for Adams.
Interesting that Montreal goes for it here on 3rd and 2. And I say that because we were talking to special teams coordinator Mickey O'Donovan before the ball game, and for Speedy, this way as he kicks at this stadium, he's apt to be a little more inconsistent because of the wind and how it swirls here. And plus, they're minus their long snapper, DJ Lalama, done an admirable job in trying to replace him all week long. I think that affected the call right there. And glad to see Montreal be aggressive in that situation, in that field position.
Yeah, they said tell us the decision zone was right around the 40, right? And that was
offside.
Just inside.
Hamilton, number 98. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
So that tells me, Dustin, that the snapper came into play there. And so a lot of things come into play there in that decision to go for it on 3rd and like 1.5, almost 2 there.
Yeah. Talking about the wind here in Montreal and how it kind of swirls around, makes things a little bit difficult.
It's awfully tough to convey that to the fans at home watching the game, but it's consistent here, and it does swirl, and that's their thinking.
Here's the handoff to Johnson. Looked like he was waiting for something to open up, and it never really did.
That's kind of his style, though. He kind of just, he's got a lot of patience as a running back and explosiveness as well, and once he sees a hole, he'll pound it in there. And Jagarrett Davis is certainly going to have Jeremiah in his sights all day long, and he's had a tremendous season. 12 sacks, 2nd in the league in that. And Simone Lawrence having an all-star year. Absolutely love what he's doing, bringing to the table. And Richard Leonard on the back end does a fabulous job with 4 picks himself this year. 3rd-year player from Florida International.
Adams complete inside the 10. That's the 10th play of the drive. This time to Quan Bray, his 2nd catch of the day. First from Adams. Had one earlier in the game from Winnipeg.
Right in front of Richard Leonard, too. And he's right here, just going to run right in front of Leonard. And this is going to be a strike. One-on-one situation. Get it on him. That ball's out a little earlier, up a little higher. He's got a chance to make a move, get in the end zone, but he went down low and secured the catch. Big one for Montreal.
That'll be 1st and goal for Adams in this Alouettes offense. Trying to break a scoreless tie here as we near the end of the opening quarter. Empty backfield for Adams. Pressure coming, got it away.
That's miscommunication right there.
Threw it far enough that nobody was going to get there.
Yeah. And I think this guy had a little something to do with it. Simone Lawrence. He's right here, and he's going to get there in a hurry, and this will get your attention. Yep. You wake up tomorrow morning, what's going on? Last night feels a little funny. Simone Lawrence was gnawing on it. First and goal. Second and goal now, and they're pretty good in the red zone down here. Not bad at all. VA first in total yards down here.
Pressure coming again for Adams. Steps up, throws it into the end zone. Touchdown, Alouettes. Vernon Adams gunning it in there. And the Owls take the early lead as he found Quan Bray for his 6th touchdown of the year.
Yeah, and you got to love the composure of the young quarterback, Vernon Adams. And I say young because he just had 17 starts in the league. And you're going to have pressure coming from this side over here. And it's going to be Rico Murray. And you watch the quarterback just drift to his right, sensing pressure. There's Rico. Just slides to the right, steps up a little bit. And on the run, spots the ball perfectly in front of Tunde Adeleke. And Quan Bray gets his 6th touchdown of the season, and they capitalize in the red zone big for Montreal.
12-play, 100-yard drive that took just under 7 minutes and ended in a Quan Bray touchdown for the Montreal Alouettes. We talked about where they started. That was an excellent drive for the Owls.
Yeah, I believe that Vernon Adams, he deserved that, right? Throwing that pick, and then he gets put back in his own 10, and now he's got to drive the length of the field, which he did, and that's exactly what Kahari Jones is looking for from his young quarterback, finding a rhythm, moving into the playoffs.
Back to Montreal, everyone. Quan Bray and the rest of that receiving core, actually a very nice drive led by Vernon Adams. And here's a look at how it broke down.
Yeah, and broke down with pretty much big plays. 5 plays of 10+ yards or more, and started with that one to Lewis, and then just gutting the defense with a nice patient run by Jeremiah Johnson. Standing in the pocket with Simone Lawrence and delivering to Quan Bray across the middle, and then here Rico Murray breathing down his neck this time off the edge. He steps up in the pocket, shows some patience, and finds Quan Bray for his 6th of the season. Hell of a drive for Montreal.
21st touchdown pass of the year for Vernon Adams. Came into this game just over 300 yards shy of a 4,000-yard season.
Now he's being a cheerleader on the sidelines, pumping up this crowd.
They're loving it.
Oh, this football team is having a lot of fun. They kind of remind me of the Washington Nationals right now, of a team that is just playing with a lot of confidence and having a lot of fun in the meantime.
There's Frankie Williams. Looked like he wanted to pop that to the far side of the field, but he was tracked down and wrapped up, and that's where Dane Evans and the Ticats will come back out. Evans last week, 452 yards, season high, and now he finds his team down by a touchdown here on the road against Montreal.
We just got to remember that these quarterbacks, they're wet behind the ears.
Yep.
And particularly this guy. 8-3 as a starter in the Canadian Football League. Although he's been here going in his 3rd season this year, he's shown a lot of poise and still learning out there. We're learning about him, and he's a pretty resilient young quarterback from Sanger, Texas. And last week he lit it up too. This guy's coming in hot. Dane Evans is absolutely just feeling it and had a career high 452. Got player of the game. Both Hank and I thought there was still room for improvement back in watching it in Studio 6, and we were like, what? Big player of the game? That's just how hard we are on these guys and how we see the game, but this kid's seeing it pretty daggum good right now. And he's got a lot of weapons to work with, and fully anticipate him being around a long time.
That time he handed it off to Sutton, who pushed ahead to pick up a fresh set of downs. Just a short pickup. Now he'll stand in behind his line by himself. 3 receivers both ways. Evans looks to his left, throws to his left, a little bit behind the intended target, but a good catch nonetheless from Jalen Acklin. And that's his first touch of the football game, a pickup of 7 yards for Ackland.
Yeah, and Ackland had a good game against Montreal earlier in the season. Lit it up, and it's like, pick your poison with Hamilton. They got so many weapons. And like I mentioned, add Luke Tasker to that mix. It's just incredible.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned his name yet today, and they've got a ton of weapons already involved. Here's Evans down the field looking for Banks. That'll be complete.
Oh, and that's a walk-in.
It's a walk-in. Brandon Banks will take it all the way to the house for the touchdown. That's also his 4th catch of the day, which sets a new franchise record for receptions in a season for Banks. There is a flag on the play, but I believe it's against the Alouettes.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Dustin. And another big play, and why not? Both
Illegal
these quarterbacks.
contact on a receiver. Montreal, number 21. Penalties decline. The play results in a touchdown. We'll do the convert in this quarter.
Both these quarterbacks love to push the football down the field. When you got weapons like they do, why not? Dane Evans, 20-plus plays this year, finds Speedy B, fastest guy in the league, in my opinion. He's now well over 52% and 127 quarterback efficiency rate when he's chunking the ball deep downfield. Got a cannon, he's not afraid to use it.
And the Ticats will stay out on the field and go for 2. Evans in trouble, dumps it off, and that one bounces incomplete in the end zone as they look to take a 8-7 lead. There is a flag on the play, though.
It's offsides on Montreal, so they'll get another kick of the can here. That thing got disrupted early, that
Offside.
play.
Montreal, number 43. Go up half the distance. We'll retry this convert.
Yeah, this could bring Tyrell into the fold here and pounding it. But nice job by Montreal and then the offsides of disrupting that play from the beginning. Forced Dane Evans to his left, and things got cloudy that short side of the football field. And he threw one up there, winging a prayer. He's going to get a second chance here.
Lines up in the shotgun again. Sutton standing to the left of Evans, and more flags here.
The play that would never end.
The quarter. This is the final play of the quarter a couple of times now. And this is going to...
Procedure. Hamilton, number 54. 5-yard penalty. We're still in the convert.
Now I got to think that they're... looks like they're going to kick a single here now.
No, I don't. No, I don't think they can.
A little confusion. Look at them.
I think once they made the decision, we saw this earlier in the game this year, they have to go for it.
They evidently thought that they could. And then it was like mass confusion out there.
I think Al Bradbury was trying to track everybody down, saying, no, get back out here.
Yeah, well, that's a difficult thing here. You know, you just can't go from one side to the next. And you know, Hamilton's 60 yards, 70 yards away, and Al's trying to communicate to him what they can and can't do and get everybody on the right page.
Now one last quick change here from the Ticats. Now they'll be blown in. And they'll be working from the 7.
So I got to think a third different type of play call here and a third chance.
Tasker rolls in front of Evans. That's where they're going to look for Tasker. That is batted down, defended well by Greg Reed.
Why not?
As he would have none of it, and that'll bring us to the end of the opening quarter. And what started slow finished excellent as both the Alouettes and the Ticats finding the end zone, including Brandon Banks with his 11th touchdown of the year, tying a new career high for Speedy B. A little bit of a defensive battle in the early going of this game, but Dane Evans and Vernon Adams kind of settling in here on their last couple of drives, man.
Yeah, a couple of tentative plays, and obviously a big mistake by Vernon throwing an interception to Simone Lawrence as his running back fell down after a screen, trying to attempt to execute that, but they settled down. Vernon, long drive for a touchdown, that was impressive, and then stepping right back in on the ensuing drive. Dane Evans shows you off his strong arm and finds a guy that everybody liked to throw the football to, and Brandon Banks getting his 11th touchdown of his season and setting a record for the Hamilton Ticats in the process. Impressive first quarter for for a game that's really a difficult one for both head coaches to continue to balance the reps versus rest type of mentality, and that is a big factor here. But when you're playing it like that first quarter, you got to do it 100%. That's exactly what both these teams are doing.
7-6, Montreal leading, and Shakir will take this off of one hop and moves it back up to about the 35-yard line there for Shakir Ryan.
Yeah, I like what I see in Shakir Ryan as a returner. And earlier in that first quarter, we saw him a punt return. It was only like 10, 11 yards, but it was straight up the football field, and that's field position. And those numbers can oftentimes get lost in the outcome of the importance of field position for football teams. And Montreal kind of bucked the odds there with that long drive there in the first quarter out of their own end. Particularly teams that have good field position take advantage of it and win football games.
First and 10 on their own 35 here for Adams. Near side, Eugene Lewis. He's got it. Fourth catch of the game for Lewis. Took a heavy bump, but got it up probably enough for the first down.
Perfect example. You know, their number one receiver, Eugene Lewis, this year, he's on the field and he's playing, and they're feeding him the rock. And this is just a little hesitation route sitting underneath the zone. He makes the guy miss, and then he takes the punishment from the inside out.
That was Ja'Garrett Davis who came flying over.
God, Ja'Garrett Davis, he's a beast. He's all over the football field, got a heck of a motor, and what a great addition to this defensive line.
Davis and Wynn are the only two teammates to already have double digits in sacks so far this season. Now here's Johnson is going to try to kick it to the outside, and Simone Lawrence there to eventually track him down from behind.
Yeah, and this is just great pursuit. And defense is staying in their lane, and as you watch him and the balance that Jeremiah Johnson brings, and he bounces it out there, and the defense is right there in that rally to football.
Johnson coming into this game, a touchdown on the ground this year, another one through the air. Last week had over 80 combined yards as well. The Alouettes in the first quarter, 4 of 5 on second down conversions. They'll try to pick one up right here, facing 2nd and 8 situation. A little bit of time for Adams. Now some pressure. Finds a man wide open over the middle. That's Lewis again. They'll go up and over a defender. Takes it down just outside the 30.
A little showcasing of what VA does and how he's right here. He's going to run in behind the defense, and he won't be able to see it, but he's going to run a little dig, and you watch Vernon Adams slide to his left, drop his release point, and throw a strike to Eugene Lewis on the move. Well, that's pretty to watch. It's a subtle thing as he moves to his left, throws with balance, drops his elbow and his release point, slings a dart to 87.
Yeah, Rico Murray watched Lewis go up and over him as he'll hand it back off to Johnson. Takes it ahead for a short gain towards the 30.
You know, talking about VA and watching these two young quarterbacks sling the ball all over the yard and what they bring to the table, those are things that you practice, but you know, you always practice perfect technique and you're in balance and standing tall in the pocket and delivering. Oftentimes that's not the case in real live action, and Vernon proved it there. And just what it takes to be an athlete back there and throw a ball on the move, going a different way, dropping the elbow down, throwing a strike.
2nd and 10 now for Adams. Dumps it off again, this time to Winneke. He's down inside the 15, almost to the 10, as Adams is making it look easy on these second down conversions.
Yeah, and he had Eugene one-on-one off the top, but it's going to be Winneke coming across this way, and he's waiting on him to clear. He throws over the top of Simone. But Eugene was called for one-on-one opportunity. Had his man beat to his left-hand side. VA had all kinds of time provided by that offensive line. He's got in front of him today, doing a nice job against a tough Hamilton rush. Found Winneke for a big play.
There's Adams now, empty backfield. Johnson out to his left. Gonna look to the end zone. It's got a touchdown again. Alouettes back to Winneke for his team-leading 7th touchdown catch of the year. And Vernon Adams back-to-back touchdown drives.
Hardy Jones is wanting this young quarterback to have a rhythm. in a ball game, and he says, you know, if things go as expected, you know, we'll see how it goes, but I just want to see my guy play with some rhythm, some timing. And you watch him here as he's throwing with a lot of confidence provided by the protections, getting up front. And he looks left and then finds Winicky coming right to left and throws another strike. Boy, he was on fire that drive.
Well, Leonard was right there in Winicky's back pocket, but couldn't knock that ball loose.
That is tremendous quarterback play right there.
6-play, 75-yard drive, just 3:46 off the clock as Beatty will hammer home the extra point. Late flag there on the play as well. Adams all smiles here. Winicky's been an end zone guy for him so far this year. First-year receiver at a SD State, 6'4", 215. Nice having a big target like that, right, man?
Yeah, you know, and I liken him to Eric Delorier, who's really working the administrative aspect of this football team right now, doing an awesome job. He reminds me a lot of Eric, and when he played, brings that same type of demeanor and certainly ability to the table. Feed him all day long. Jake Winicky, 7th of the year.
Second touchdown pass of the day for Vernon Adams.
There's a drink for that.
A nice season continues here for Jake Winicky as he now has 7 touchdowns on the year. This also happened just moments after the extra point was kicked.
Yeah, and Simone's pleading his case after this because he feels like he gets thrown into Beatty. He's like, oh, I got thrown. And just, thank goodness Beatty's okay on that play. You don't want to see that happening. Already have Marty Bedard down. Woke up this morning, wasn't able to play based on an ongoing problem with his lower half, and you don't want to see another piece of that battery go down.
Frankie Williams on the return takes it up to the 31 for the Ticats. Vernon Adams sitting back, enjoying what he's seeing so far from his offense. No DeVere Posey, but still a lot of weapons out there for Vernon Adams. And the same can be said on the other side of the ball here for Dane Evans.
You're a quarterback, I guarantee it. You have no problem stepping in either one of those huddles, saying, yeah, let's go to war.
Sutton will stand in to the left here of his quarterback. Now slides out the wide side of the field. And they'll swing it on the near side to Addison. Addison will take it up to about the 33-yard line, his second catch of the football game. Dane Evans prior to that one, 7 of 9 on the day for 114 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I like obviously, when you talk about the Hamilton offense, you know, you really have to talk about the offensive coordinator, Tommy Condell, and he utilizes his personnel extremely well as anybody in the Canadian Football League. And there you saw a little bit of it. Tyrell Sutton coming out as X. Now you see the matchups. You got Braylon Addison on swing pass.
4 receivers to the right side of the field for Evans, far wide side. That's
there he is.
Tasker back in the lineup and back in the box score there as he has his first catch of the game.
Boy, that is a long throw and a flat route as Tasker comes across the formation and he's going to come. I believe he's going to come from all the way over here. He's coming in this way. Comes inside, bangs out. You got to throw with confidence knowing with the defensive personnel on that one when you air it out to the wide side flat like that.
Tasker returning from a hamstring injury that had him sidelined since week 10. Now Evans will hand it off. That'll be pushed right up the middle for a good pickup on first down there, and that's Sutton running with some contact, and he likes it.
Yeah, Montreal fans are used to seeing that, just not watching 19 in a different uniform. As he put in pretty much 6 solid years here, got kind of sniped for a younger, less expensive Williams Standback, and got sent to BC, finds himself in a Hamilton uniform now, loving the opportunity to come here and add some physicality to that Hamilton offensive attack.
No Standback today for Montreal. Had a 200-yard game against his Ticats earlier in the season, and that one complete back to Tasker again. Kind of had to deflected up to
Yeah,
himself.
that was Speedy B was offsides there, so they're going to get flagged for 5 here. They'll probably take the play and make Hamilton punt.
Yeah, really no gain on that play, so that would bring up 3rd and 5. They decline right at midfield.
Speedy B's walking to the bench.
Offside. Hamilton, number 16, penalties decline, brings up 3rd down.
We talked a little bit, you and me, earlier in the day when we were just kind of walking around.
What do you mean walking around? We're down there loving life, talking to the players, coaches. That's the best part of the day.
It was a good time down there at warm-up today. But you talked about the Montreal defense and how, like, the stats, especially for the defensive line, the stats haven't been incredible so far this year, but they got some playmakers on that defense, some athletic guys who can disrupt things for Dane Evans and that Hamilton offense.
Yeah, and John Bowman leading the way as the veteran guy, showing them how to do it. You know, with Woody Barron, you got Ryan Brown, Tony Simmons, Fabian Foote. These guys are athletic and they can be dominant at times.
Greg Reed on the return swerves his way back for about 10 or 11 yards in that return, and the Montreal offense been rolling a little bit. They got themselves a 14-6 lead, courtesy of that man right there, Vernon Adams. 2 touchdowns today for Vernon Adams. It's been an excellent season. For more on his year, let's send it down to John Luke.
Well, thank you, Dustin. When Vernon Adams won the starting job here in Montreal, he set 3 goals for himself and his team. First, make the playoffs. Second, secure a winning record. And third, win the Grey Cup. Well, so far, it's 1 down, 2 to go. And if the Alouettes win today or next Friday in Ottawa, they will secure themselves their first winning record since 2012, which was the last season of Mark Trestman's tenure here. Would be a 10-7, or excuse me, that was an 11-7 record. And so Adams recognizes the importance of that, not just for this team, but for the organization as itself that's been through some lean times over the last 6 years, guys.
Thank you very much, John. I think 7 different men have been the coach of this team in the last 7 years, at least for parts of it. We have a fumble on the field. We do.
It looked like a late whistle as I'm watching the game here, listening to John, and it looked like the ball carrier was down, then the ball came out, but there was no whistle, and the play continued.
It's a fumble by Montreal, recovery by Hamilton.
No way.
First down, Hamilton.
It sure seemed delayed.
Yeah, it seemed delayed. And, we'll take another look at it, and that's what this is for. But it looks like his knee's down as he's being ripped to the ground there, and then the ball comes out. There's no whistle on the play, which is proper, and looks like House comes up with it. Yeah, it's just a
The previous play is under review by the command center.
Very nice.
Probably an
Glad to
easy
hear
one.
that.
Yeah, an easy one to challenge.
I'm not sure. We'll just, it depends on the angles of what we get. And that's tough to see because you got Adeleke in the way there. You really can't see where his knee is. But take a peek at this. I'm really glad to hear the command center's taking a peek at this.
This one might be our best look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his knee's definitely down there before the ball comes out.
Yeah, I think the first view we had, kind of from the backside of Johnson, might have shown it best. Maybe it was this one.
Regardless, whether you like video review or not, I love the fact that we get to see our game in slow motion because you can really see a lot once it's slowed down. The viewers at home, you got to watch that knees out, then the ball comes out. I think that's going to be overturned. I think it was Montreal's ball, in my opinion, but I love to see the game in slow motion, see the beauty and the art form of it. Look at Kahari. He's having a blast down there. That guy's on fire, man.
It's Kahari. Think about this. Put this in perspective. This is during a review.
Yeah.
Kahari Jones on the sideline is singing along with the in-house music.
Yeah.
Which is
classic.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Here's a call.
After review by the command center, the Montreal ball carrier was down by contact at the 24-yard line before the ball came out. Second down, Montreal.
Oh, shout out to the command center for stepping in and making things right on that one. That would have been a big moment in this football game. Field position flip there would have been insane for the Ticats.
Yeah, that's a big reason why it has that ability to step in and get the call right. Not to officiate the game, just get it right and egregious foul the other way or call the other way. And I think they get it right there, and it's exactly why it's in place.
2nd and 6 here for Adams. And the Alouettes will work
Checking with the line.
their own 24. Pressure coming, far side of the field. That one will be held onto over on the far side there by Asher.
Yeah, and you saw Vernon Adams check the line of scrimmage. He audible the line of scrimmage because he saw all these people up the line. Had 7 people coming, and he knew he was going to get rid of the football, and it's exactly what he did. But Montreal played it, Hamilton played it nicely. Come up and make a nice tack on the edge.
First catch for Absher with the Alouettes.
That's huge. There's all kinds of storylines out here, and that's a big one. Glenville State College, Dante Absher getting his first.
It's the first 2 and out of this football game, either way.
Bringing rain with that punt.
That'll be taken at the 40, back up to a 45 flag on the field. As Frankie Williams, once again, of course, on the return for the Ticats, who find themselves down 14-6 on the road here in Montreal, where they've already lost once this season, down by 8 in the second quarter. 4 touches so far today for Tyrell Sutton in what has to be kind of a special game for him. More on that, John Lou.
Indeed, Dustin, this is Tyrell Sutton's first game back in Montreal since he was dealt from the Alouettes in August 2018, when the Alouettes opted for younger, less expensive, but certainly up-and-coming William Stanback, who at that point had just become a protege of Tyrell Sutton, and that was one of Sutton's regrets to moving on, is that he didn't really get to sort of coach up Stanback before he was dealt to BC. However, having said that, he said that he's very happy, very proud of the success that Stanback has enjoyed, adding that, I'm just glad that they didn't replace me with a scrub. Guys?
Definitely not a scrub. There's a fake handoff. Now Evans is going to take a shot down the field, and a double coverage intercepted at the 45 as going up to haul it in. Great job defensively on the field by the Montreal Alouettes. The combo getting the job done.
Yeah, it's Boseco's second interception of the year, and this is just a poorly thrown ball by Dane Evans. His free safety's he's 20 yards deep. He's 23 yards off the line of scrimmage, going towards the post, realizing where the threat is, and that's easy pickings for the tall, rangy, and very physical Boseco Lacombo, 5th-year player from Oregon, going up, climbing the ladder, and pulling that down.
A couple of turnovers in this game now, an interception by Evans, an interception earlier on in the football game from Adams. Simone Lawrence getting that one. Now this offense back out here for the Alouettes, and that'll be complete. As once again, Eugene Lewis on his way to a big day here in Montreal. As Schultz is now into the game for Montreal. And we were wondering how long Vernon Adams would stay in this game. We've been hinted at maybe a quarter, but he's got a couple of touchdowns under his belt, so he'll watch him the sideline.
Yeah, talking to Kahari, he had a plan in his mind, and he wanted it to play out the way it did, and I think he saw enough in rhythm and quality play by his starting quarterback. He gets Schultz some quality reps as well.
We saw Schultz in action earlier this season, and that one once again looking for Lewis, and Jamal roll all over him at the point of contact. That'll bring up 3rd down for the Alouettes offense.
And I like this, and I think a lot of coaches are going through this, particularly with the young quarterbacks that are behind the center for a lot of the teams this year. And they're trying to just gauge how much time they need to give these guys, because obviously they haven't had a lot of reps in the course of their career. And it's important to have some type of rhythm going into the playoffs, and yet you want to get them as many positive reps as they can because they haven't seen it many times.
There's the kick. That'll bounce down at the 25. Williams has to go all the way back for it. It rolls right to his own 15, and the Alouettes will just...
That is a thankless job right there.
Pump all over him. Touch this ball, and we're coming for you.
Yeah, 6 guys just pot-shotting you.
What else are you supposed to do in that situation? Not ideal if you are Williams.
Well, how about Cal Murphy? Cal's a catch in the air. Don't let it hit the ground. That way that won't happen. You won't lose 15 yards on the play.
A nasty hop there on Williams. Bounced past him and rolled another 10 yards.
You're giving the benefit of the doubt. I am not.
Come on.
I'm from the school of Murphy, and you got to catch that in the air at all times.
So the no yards there against the Alouettes. Alouettes defense is coming out, making some plays here in the second quarter. Interception from Lacombo earlier on.
Speaking of guys, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Cal Murphy, what about Mike O'Shea and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers last night, beating the Calgary Stampeders and welcoming back Zach Collaros to the fold this year? Well done.
That was just a great game to watch. Evans wide open. That'll be complete. Up to the 35, almost to the 40 before they slow down Braylon Addison.
Come on, Bo, you just can't hit him. These are professional football players. This is Braylon Addison. He's like a running back / receiver. And Bosecco, he comes up here and just tries to lay a lick on him, doesn't wrap him up. And Braylon says, now you see me, now you don't. Nice play on both ends there from quarterback to receiver.
25-yard pickup there for Addison. Spinning off a tackle that time as they go right back to Addison again. This time, Reed comes over to help wrap him up.
Talking to Tommy Condell, offensive coordinator for Hamilton before the ball game. He just smiled when I said, what's it like to have another weapon out there? And Luke Tasker, he just smiled and said, it's kind of like having that. Just another tool in the toolbox. Be creative as much as possible.
Another dangerous weapon here for Evans, operating out of an empty backfield. Steps up, gets this one away. And a flag flies in behind the quarterback at the end of the play. Lacombo defending that pass well.
This could be a late hit possible on the quarterback.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Montreal, number 91. 15 yards, automatic first down.
Javon Roland Jones had a sack last week. A little too overzealous on this play. Let's get another look.
Yeah, I believe he's right here. And this is where the game's going. Not sure I believe in this right here, but he did punch him kind of like right in the face mask, but my goodness. That's a costly penalty. That's today's game, like it or not.
Evans will take a fresh set of downs, trailing by 8 here on Montreal side of the field. Takes a handoff, now over the middle, has a man wide open, and that'll be complete down inside the 25 as he gets it back in the hands of Jalen Acklin.
Well, you got Speedy being Addison on the same side, and then Acklin just kind of sits in between two of them because they're drawing all kinds of attention, right? A little play action, turn your back to the defense, locate Acklin sitting in the hole there. Addison's got two over the top. Speedy B's got two in the boundary. No wonder Jalen Acklin's wide open. Reaping the rewards of the explosiveness of the other two, 86 and 16.
First and 10 for Evans. Montreal 24. Wide side of the field. That'll be complete. And Banks kind of slips as he turned around to assess the situation.
I think it all starts with 16 with Hamilton. And obviously you got a quarterback like Jeremiah and certainly Dane Evans to be able to get the ball to him. But talk more about that as we move on.
Ticats trailing, but they're driving right now as we hit the 3-minute warning in Montreal.
3 minutes to halftime. We were just watching Coach Kahari Jones bouncing around. Hit it, guys. Got to get ready for this half. And could it be a playoff preview? The Edmonton Eskimos might have something to say about that. But we'll talk about how this game could set the table for 3 weeks' time should they meet in the Eastern Final. At the half, let's go back to Dustin and Matty.
Thank you very much. For the first time today, Ticats in the red zone.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I like to see the boys bouncing around. And studio, look at that.
That's going to go all the way from the red zone to the end zone. Touchdown, Braylon Addison, as the Ticats waste no time at all. Addison dangerous on the ground and showing why right there.
That's right. It's his 36th carry of the season, 200 yards plus on that play there. Gets you about 17 and a score. And this is the explosiveness, and this is Tommy Condell at his finest. Just a split backs, shotgun, running away from Patrick Levels. Walk in untouched to the end zone from 17 yards out.
Addison just second year here in the league out of Oregon. Going for two again. Evans, end zone, Bates, batted down. And then Reed is having a great day in coverage for the Alouettes. There is a flag on the far side of the field, though.
Yeah, we'll see what this is. It looked like a lot of contact to me on Montreal on the back end.
Illegal contact on a receiver, Montreal, number 33. Half distance to goal, we'll try the contact.
Yeah, it's John Jones, and I saw it off the line of scrimmage, and he's got Addison, his responsibility on this play, and as he tries to release up the football field, Addison puts a nice out move on him, and he goes outside, so you just watch him right here. He's right here, he's going to take a move here, and he's got to grab him. Addison will switch motion there, nice move, he grabs him right there, and that's the penalty.
Well, handed off this time, pushing in for two to tie the game at 14. Malik Irons getting the job done that time after a 6-play, 95-yard touchdown drive that took just over 2.5 minutes. They'll throw in two more and tie this game up at 14.
I gotta love that. Malik Irons, Bobcat from University of Ohio. A little plug for Frank Dunnigan, my dad. He played football there, ran track there as well. And it's good to see him play. Pick up a 2-point convert here. Back in the lineup for the first time in a while. There's a walk-in touchdown by Bladen Addison, showing off his versatility. There's Malik Bobcat doing his thing.
It's kind of an interesting, both those guys have touches there. We were talking about it, I think, prior to the game. 7 different players on the Ticats have had at least 30 carries so far this year, which deals with a little bit of injuries, but also working in a guy like Addison and working in some of these other guys.
Yeah, and limited roster size, the more you can do, the better. And it seems like they have a bunch of players that are, I think Orlando Steinhauer, the word he likes to use is multifaceted, multiple, defensively, offensively, interchangeable.
It's definitely worked so far. Franchise best, 13 wins, and that one will be brought back up the near side of the field by Felix Faubert-Lucier.
Rear Intelligent Emergency Braking. Innovative technology designed to help keep your family safe. Available in the Nissan Rogue.
Second crack at it today here for Matthew Schiltz. Came into this game in place of Vernon Adams. Had completed 21 of 35 passes on the season. A touchdown, an interception. Also ran for a nice touchdown earlier in the season as well. He can scoot around a little bit, and opportunity for him to just get some reps in.
Yeah, a bigger quarterback than Vernon Adams, 6'3". That's about 210, 215. Strong arm. Just like many quarterbacks we've seen this year, doesn't have a lot of playing time. Perfect opportunity for him.
Perfect plan there as they hand it off. And that is just pushed ahead steadily by Jeremiah Johnson. Enough for a first down.
They'll take that all day, those big boys up front. Feed them, let them control that line of scrimmage, make things a lot easier, no matter who's behind the center.
Might see Pipkin today at some point as well.
I would expect to see that.
And everybody involved here for the Alouettes. Tied at 14 right now. They know they'll be hosting the East Semi. Johnson again. Short gain.
Yeah, it was Justin Tuggle stood him up right there after about 3 yards. He says, no more.
I'll bring up second down here for Schiltz in the Alouettes offense. If you're just joining us, Vernon Adams threw a couple of touchdown passes before taking a seat for the day.
Yeah, and he was on fire in that first quarter plus, and It's fun watching him slinging all over the yard. I'd sit him down too because he had tremendous rhythm out there in his offense.
Adams 11 of 14 for 142 yards. Here's Schultz now. That's complete to Matthews, who throws in a little bit of a spin to pick up a few extra yards on his second catch of the day.
And a nice touch pass over the top of the linebackers right in behind them. And you watch him feather this over the top of Simone Lawrence, drops out, gets depth, finds the hole, and Chris Matthews, big target, keeping the drive alive.
Another work from the Hamilton 46. Wide side throw up to Quan Bray. And Bray will get it just inside the 40 before he's stopped. Bray's fourth catch of the football game.
And it didn't look like much. And it's just a corner route with a little sit down, kind of like a bang route, the wide side of the football field. And I watched Winicky on that play there really pushing hard upfield to try to get the attention of the area outside defender, and he did. And that gave Bray an opportunity to sit out there wide open for 8 yards.
8-yard pickup there for Bray. Now Johnson. And a huge hole opens up for Jeremiah Johnson. And they're going to bring him down, but not until he works his way up to the 15.
I asked Jeremiah if he minded the moniker. He and William Stanback of Thunder and Lightning. He says, no, not at all. And you saw a little bit of the lightning there as he's explosive back and can do it on the ground and through the air. He's got sweet hands. A veteran guy's played in both leagues, National Football League and here. And boy, he likes people sleeping on him so he can have explosive plays just like that.
Broke a couple of tackles on that one on his way to a pickup of 25. Schultz and this Montreal offense marching again. Pressure coming this time. Schultz almost threw an interception.
Almost.
Tuggle was looking for it.
He's like, I think it surprised him. He kind of snuffed it out and realized where it was coming. The ball just, there he is. He's getting hit. And you watch him sniff this out. He comes off the edge, gets blocked right there as he goes in the air. I think it hits him right in the gut. Matthew Schultz was surprised himself. Said, where did you come from?
Schultz with 3 receivers wide to his right. One of them is Winicky, who has a touchdown today. Schultz is going to look to the end zone here. Touchdown, Alouettes! Chris Matthews, 3rd of the year with Montreal. And Schultz drives the field for a major here late in the opening half.
I don't know what Kahari Jones was thinking, on how this game is going to play out and repping his quarterbacks, but you got to think that this was like the best case scenario. Vernon Adams coming in hot, doing his thing, getting some rhythm, and then Matthew Schultz off the bench. Come on. Looks like a seasoned vet out there in this drive. All kinds of protection, second and long, standing tall in that pocket, delivers a strike to Chris Matthews, big long-range receiver who had a year back in 2012 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, almost 1,200 yards and 7 TDs, coming up big there for the Montreal Alouettes.
7 plays, 83 yards in less than 2 minutes with the backup quarterback. And the extra point hammered through as the home side regains a 7-point lead. Chris Matthews.
That's huge. You get a big, tall receiver like that going again, and Chris Matthews is just, he was a healthy scratch a couple of weeks, and well, it's good to see him back in the lineup producing this way. It gives him a lot of confidence, that offense a lot of confidence. You got your backup quarterback marching him down the field. Things are going well for Montreal. His first 30 minutes of play.
Schultz fired up. That's his second touchdown pass of the season. This time finding Matthews for the lead here in Montreal. Nice to see the Alouettes offense not stall with Vernon Adams out. That's one of the things. I mean, you want to keep Vernon healthy, but at the same time, you want to keep your offense kind of going, right? And Schultz provided them with that.
That's just that balance that we're talking about. You get those quality reps with the live bullets and meaningful games as much as possible. And here, Matthew Schultz takes the reins. Offense is still rolling.
Schultz is 4 of 6 for 51 yards and a touchdown. Frankie Williams here on the return. Williams looking for some green space. Not going to get any. Flag right at the end of the play. We've got the panel coming up in just a matter of moments. A bunch of well-dressed individuals. Not as well-dressed as you, Matty, but they look way better than I do.
Come on. Don't even know where you're going there. Yeah, I tell you, those guys, they got a long day in front of them. It's good to see them bouncing around in Studio 6 there. We're going to check in on them in about 7 hours' time. See how much bounce they have in their step then.
First down.
Face mask against the Alouettes. Going to move the ball up here. Pretty good field position for the Ticats with 43 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of time to even this battle up here. There's a face mask here. Frankie kind of shutting her down as Bo Banner steps in there. And I didn't see the face mask. I just saw him grabbing cloth on the shoulder pad. Oh,
Allison gets popped in the back.
That's a straight up trip to the chiropractor right there. Oh,
Najee Murray hammering Addison, who is down in pain at the 50.
Oh, he just got it drilled right between the 8 and the 6. He caught that ball sitting down in the hole in the zone. And oh,
Murray having an opportunity to play here as Tommy Campbell gets a rest today.
Yeah, he got up gingerly there. Looked like me in the morning.
Here's another look at this big-time pop.
Wow. Whoa. That ball came out, too. Oh.
A whiplash scenario there.
Oh.
Murray not messing around. Addison is kind of crouched down here getting looked at right now. And that kind of just comes back to the point in a game where the standings mean nothing. I mean, you need Addison healthy. I know they have a lot of targets, but Addison's a very dangerous weapon here for the Ticats.
Yeah, he's 1A with Speedy B being 1. And it goes from there for the rest of the guys getting theirs. But you can't afford to lose him. And he's a tough cookie. He'll be all right. Walk that off. I got the wind knocked out of him from the backside. Typically, you see that happen from the front side. With players falling on the ball or landing on something or getting hit there. And I think it very well could have been just that. Got the wind knocked out of him from the backside.
6 touches today for 69 yards and a touchdown for Braylon Addison.
And to mention, just, he did what he had to do. Legal tackle and tough tackle. Forcing 2nd and 10 here.
Anthony Coombs will now come out into the lineup for the Ticats. He's actually celebrating his 27th birthday today. Getting on the field here.
There's another weapon.
Here's Evans. Thought about going deep. Now he will. Near side, and that one hammered out of bounds.
That's our guy, Greg Reed, right there.
Having a day. Looking for Mike Jones there, but Reed was all over him. It was Bo Macombo who told us yesterday, Reed kind of just came out of nowhere, but he's an absolute star.
Yeah, and the ball kind of, watch Evans as he kind of floats to his left, and this ball is not coming out tight, and it kind of arrives there late, and so he's got to climb the ladder. It gives Reed a chance to close the gap, and he pushes him out of bounds and makes sure that that's not a catch.
That'll bring up 3rd down here.
Yeah, I like Bo Macombo's comments when I asked him yesterday about Reed, and says he's a physical player that gets it done, and it's been a lot of fun watching him earn his stripes this year and gain a lot of confidence every time he's out there.
Playing with a lot of confidence right now for sure. Hairolahu kicks this away. That'll come down just inside the 20. And Ryan will get it back up just inside the 30.
Nice punt by Liram there. Just skied that one. Tight spiral. Location was excellent. Made it easier on his special teams. Absolutely love it when those guys execute like that. Oftentimes we don't show that enough on our telecasts and how important special teams play is and what goes on out there. And good snap, great punt, great coverage there. It just doesn't happen. These guys are working hard at it 24/7. Poor Speedy, he's dealing with the backup snapper today, so that's huge. DJ Lalama is snapping for him, and he hasn't missed a beat, so feather in Lalama's cap.
Also playing middle linebacker today in place of Muamba.
Yeah, how about that, doubling up, huh?
I think he's returned to kick at some point this year as well for the Alouettes. I think that's
snaps at quarterback, too.
Well, he could come in and kneel down if they really wanted to mix him in, and that's what Schultz will do here with his team on top. 21-14 in a game against the first place Hamilton Tiger Cats. Chatting with a few Alouettes prior to the game, one of the things they mentioned was that Ticats, hey, they're the best team in the league. We want to show them that we're here to play too.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much you want to get accomplished in a game that really doesn't mean a whole lot. And as far as the standings go, 0. And yet there's a lot to be accomplished here. And both teams, I think, can be pretty pleased with how they're playing right now.
Vernon Adams with 2 touchdown passes. Matthew Schultz with 1. Let's send it back to Rod in the pen. Welcome back, everyone. What a beautiful day in Montreal. And if you're an Alouettes fan, even better, at least so far. They lead 21-14. Dustin Nielsen and Matt Dunnigan with you here. And Vernon Adams, excellent start. Well, not an excellent start. He threw that interception early, but then settled down with back-to-back touchdown drives. And then we saw Matthew Schultz at the end of the first half, and that'll be one of the storylines we follow here in the second. As this kick is away, and Faubert-Lucier will take it just inside his own 20. Now looking for some room on the near side of the field. Nowhere to go, so he just cuts it back up for a couple of yards. But it'll be interesting to see how both these guys manage their players the rest of the way in the football game.
Yeah, it's been a topic of conversation for well over a week now, I believe. And a lot of teams in the CFL, and certainly Montreal and Hamilton, are in that conversation or dealing with that balance. And worked out well for Montreal in the first half. I'm interested to see how long Dane Evans goes, because really behind him, their quarterback scenario is raw. The best way to put it. And it's good to see Schultz in here doing his thing, and really nice drive there to finish the first half.
Yeah, 4 completions in the first half. One of them goes for a touchdown. Now here's Jeremiah Johnson. Johnson looking for some room on the edge, but a good job there. And eventually it's Frankie Williams who forced him out of bounds. Look at Vernon Adams there, and a little bit of a look at his work here in the first half as well.
Yeah, and he's settled down since throwing 4 interceptions a couple weeks ago, and had a bounce-back game last week and this week against a tough defense, a defense that's fully loaded out there. And Vernon Adams looked really comfortable, and his pocket poise and presence and sliding and finding receivers downfield and doing his thing. And that's a good sign for Kahari Jones and the rest of his staff and Alouette fans moving forward.
Schultz with some pressure up the middle, gets it away, and that one too far for the intended target of Felix Faubert-Lucier. But for Adams, we knew he was coming out of this game at some point, Matty. But for him to go out with a couple touchdown passes, feeling good about himself, Kahari has to be pretty happy with how things worked there.
Yeah, he wouldn't tip his hand yesterday in sit-downs or even before the ball game, and I told him how I felt about what I took away from sit-downs yesterday. And Vernon Adams is he's just produced over the last little while. And Kahari felt like he had enough rhythm where he can get him out and go into next week and probably do the same.
Here's Frankie Williams trying to find a little bit of room on the sideline, and now he does. Takes it down to the 40 before he's hammered through the sign at the edge of the field.
He's taken out of bounds by Ty Cranston, and I think Ty was trying to stop his momentum as well as Frankie's, and it looked like he took him into the signage there on the sidelines, but Frankie darting and weaving, getting an excellent return for Ticats here to start the second half, and they're these two guys just out of control.
You saw Cranston kind of quick step in there too, trying to pull on the brakes.
It's like, oh man, we're both going in. Use Frankie as a cushion.
Excellent field position for the Ticats. Dane Evans remains in the game here for Steinauer, and throw a completion on the near side of the field to Malik Irons.
Yeah, just a route designed to go into the short side of the field, take the top off of Speedy B, put Acklin in the intermediate, and Malik Irons underneath, go deep to shallow, and Dane Evans read that out and got 8. It's just simple offense, and that's what you're looking for, is executing at a high level here, getting a rhythm going early in the second half.
Evans needing 3 yards for a first down. 4 receivers to his right, looks to his left, has a completion back to Malik Irons, and he's got the first down on the near side of the field. And we mentioned Dane Evans stays in this game, and he was asked about how he wants to balance, being rested and getting reps.
I just want to play. Football is such a game that when you're in it, it seems like, you know, you just can't wait till the next off day or the next bye week or anything like that. But as soon as that comes and you're not actively doing it, you just really miss it.
Remains in the game here, trying to tie this thing up. Working from just inside the Montreal 30. Pressure coming, has a man wide open, far side, just inside the 10. Back to Banks. He's over 100 yards on the day.
And that clip from Dane Evans sounds like a young quarterback, because that's a 12-year vet. It's like, no, man, get me out of here. Yeah, this is beautiful. Watch this. He's taking the top. Speedy B will go underneath, and we'll have somebody right out here, and he finds the intermediate route. And that's because Ackland's working so hard to take the top off the defense. He feathers out there to Spanks and finds him wide open.
Now look at that irons. He really has nowhere to go on that handoff. Montreal defense,
yeah, I was sitting
over that.
I was sitting about 6 feet from Dane when he was speaking those words yesterday. Yep. And sitting down, I was going like, oh man, is this guy ever young?
Okay, so let me ask you this: how many years in was it for you before you were like, you know what, give me the rest?
I used to chew tobacco back in the day when I was playing, and I quit like 13 years ago. And yeah, I was just, you know, if we're blowing somebody out, take me out at half. You know, it's like, I'm good. It's like. It was almost a badge of honor to be taken out of the game because you're blowing somebody out. And it's like, yeah, let the other guys get a kick at the can and a taste of what's going on out there. And, yeah, but I understand his mindset. There's a touchdown.
Touchdown to the birthday boy. Anthony Coombs celebrates his 27th with a major here as the Ticats pull within one.
How about that start? You know, this is what you're looking for if you're Tommy Condell, Orlando Steinhauer, and this is Dane Evans. He's looking left the whole way. Just pick a weapon and utilize it, and he does. And nice route by Anthony Coombs as he wears out DJ Lalama in coverage there, and that's kind of not fair. DJ's pulling double duty, playing middle linebacker. You pluck him out of the herd and go one-on-one with Anthony Coombs, who's fresh. And that's an easy pitch and catch for the young quarterback and Anthony Coombs.
Definitely worked out well right there as Anthony Coombs to the end zone on a nice feed from Evans. Wins the battle of former Manitoba Bisons. Both Lalama and Coombs playing their university ball in Winnipeg. Ticats, Alouettes tied at 21. Anthony Coombs now with the Ticats this season and provides another weapon. Definitely flies under the radar with some of the other guys that they've got here, but he's explosive in his own ways.
He's multiple. That's Orlando's, I think, favorite word, both offensively and defensively. And he likes to be multiple. He likes those guys that have that capability, and certainly Anthony fits that mold. And that was an impressive drive out of the gate for Dane Evans and his crew offensively tying it up here.
First touchdown of the season for Coombs. This will come down to Lucier. Takes it just outside his own 20. Pretty good job trying to stay on his feet there. Gets it back up close to the 30 for the Alouettes offense. And Schultz will remain in the game here. Pretty good for Schultz so far. A touchdown drive late in that opening half to give his team a 21-14 lead at the break. Dane Evans answering back here to start the second.
I'm very impressed with Matthew Schultz. Late drive there in the first half. Second-year player from Butler.
Handed off to Jeremiah Johnson. Johnson looked like he thought about kicking it to the outside, then saw some contact and went for it, picked up the first down.
I love it. I love the patience, his vision. You can watch it unfold here, coming basically right at you, and you watch the lateral movement right there, bounces out, slashes right there, understands, dips his shoulder, runs through Leonard, and picks up a first down.
85 yards on the day already for Johnson, who slides out here momentarily. Christopher Omoa now in there next to Schultz. And they'll give him a carry. Nowhere to go. Welcome to the game.
No. No. Between the tackles, this is my area. You got me on the outside and the bounce there last time. But this time, no. Shutting her down. Watch Tuggle and Simone come up there and support. Very nicely done in the middle for these two.
Tuggle over 70 tackles coming into the game, former Houston Texan.
How about his counterpart, Simone?
Yeah, he's having a decent season.
Yeah. He's closing in on 100 tackles this season.
Interception earlier today. His third of the season.
That was a gift. Uh-oh.
There's another one. This one's intercepted right at midfield.
Carriel.
Brooks cuts it inside and eventually is taken down just inside the 30. Carriel Brooks as Matthew Schultz leaves one out there for him.
Boy, a lot going on this play. Yes. Jeremiah Johnson, Tunde Adeleke on the return are teeing it up, and Brooks is just feasting.
Second of the season for Carriel Brooks, and the Ticats are in business.
Yeah, Mark Washington's secondary said enough of this, particularly Carriel Brooks. And you can watch Chris Matthews run a dig route here, and then you're going to watch how Carriel Brooks kind of settles here and waits on the route to come to him, and he just undercuts it. Watch how this plays out. It's had enough of Matthew Schultz pushing the ball down the field. He sees the route, undercuts it, and then it's to the house. And watch up top. Watch 24, and then Tunde Adeleke right here. Bam! I'm talking about not a lot of love right there.
Great field position again. Both their drives in this half starting in Montreal territory. And Evans with the completion there to Luke Tasker.
Some tough yards.
Evans so far hurried 3 times, hit once, sacked once.
Yeah, Luke Tasker, you know, drawing back in the lineup after being out for quite some time. Only 26 catches, a little under 300 yards. This is a guy that's gone over 3,000 yards 3 times in the course of his 7 years here. And we know what he can do. He's much like Edelman for the Patriots and what he does for an offense. There's Bryden Addison.
Addison with the completion, which is good news because he was hammered earlier in the football game.
Yeah, I think it made everybody's spleen hurt. And it's good to see him back out there catching the ball, participating in it, working it out. Dane Evans throwing strikes. Well, I'm kind of sense of an urgency for Hamilton coming out here in this third quarter, just driving the ball almost effortlessly on this Montreal defense.
Fresh set of downs for Evans, sees pressure coming. Right up the middle to the end zone. No. Banks is fast, but he's not that fast.
Yeah, Dane knew he missed that one. He knows he wanted to go upfield with that one, and I think Speedy B was anticipating him going upfield on the seam route, and he throws to the corner. They're not on the same page. Yeah, and Lacumbo's right here, and you're going to watch him come right up the middle, forces Dane Evans to his left. Nice little spin move on Fowler.
Second and goal from the 9. 4 receivers to the right for Evans. Looks to the end zone. Touchdown!
Oh, that's just
Speedy Banks.
That's just beautiful.
Career high 12th this season. Second of the game.
Sorry, Dustin, got excited there, brother.
Understandable.
Yeah, it's just, you know, I talked about Vernon Adams and his ability and how he handled the first half and quarter and a half of play, and that's tremendous quarterback play. And Dane Evans coming out in the second half, and you watch him look to his left, just draw the defense, and you're gonna see Speedy B do this, and in the back of the end zone, and watch the quarterback's eyes look left, draws a free safety, flattens him out, and Aki is actually back there patrolling the deep middle. It's not deep enough. Evans takes full advantage.
14 consecutive points from the Ticats, and all of a sudden they lead 28-21. Second touchdown of the day, 12th of the season for that man, Brandon Banks. Excellent year continuing right here in Montreal.
There's a drink for that.
It's another day at the office there for Dane Evans, and That man right there, Brandon Banks.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
What they just did. Banks is already at 31.7 fantasy points, too, if you're playing that game. If you can afford him.
I was going to say,
this is going to pay off for you.
Today, that investment definitely works. Working for the Ticats here.
He's working in the community. He's working for Hamilton here on the road, where they're looking to go 6-3, tying 1998.
Dante Absher.
Best away record. Juan Lancaster's the head coach. I'll tell you, he's a big part of it.
Decent little return there from Absher as he takes it out to about the 33-34 yard line. And here's a look at the work of the man they call Speedy B.
Yeah, I think he sets the tone here. I mean, he just gets so much respect because of his speed. People play off, and then he's just climbing through zones and then making people miss. And you got a quarterback that can find him too and knife it out there. And he's having a year. He's got to be in the conversation for MOP. Guy's lighting it up. He's setting the bar for Hamilton Ticats in the history of the organization.
7 of those 108 coming today as he set the franchise record.
Andy Fantus, 2016 went over 1,000. Tasker, and now Speedy B. Pretty impressive stuff.
Schultz there on the quarterback run, takes it ahead. Picks up about 6 or 7.
Another day at the office with the backup quarterback, Dane Evans.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on. It's like that last drive, it was Tasker, then it was Addison, then it was Speedy B. Just before that, it was Coombs and Malik Irons. It was just pick your weapon.
Dalen Ackland today also involved. Now Schultz out to his right, completion to Chris Matthews. Matthews tracked down from behind, but gets it up to the 50 for the first down.
Yeah, it's good to see Chris Matthews in the fold again. You know, it looks like he's the ball's finding him, and he knows what to do with it once he gets it. And Schultz and he seem like they've got a nice little thing going on, and a lot of rapport with one another, and that's huge for consistency offensively, and these two guys are showing it.
One weapon that Schultz does not have is Quan Bray. John Lou passed along to us from the sideline that he's been taken out just for precautionary reasons.
Yeah, well, that's now DeVere Posey, and his replacement basically was Quan Bray who's stepping in, and now he's down, so obviously getting a little more look at Absher, I'm sure, and Dante. Glenville State is going to get more of an opportunity. I'm just going to see Matthews out there. Weineke's having a decent day. Felix Lussier, of course, Eugene's still out there balling.
Yeah, he's having an all right day. 82 yards so far for Gina Lewis.
Yeah, he's kind of taken a quarter off or two here since Vernon's left. He was on fire when he had to be.
Before leaving, Bray had called 4 targets, one of them for a touchdown.
He's not even on the field.
And that is complete on the far side there to Winneke, who we were just talking about. And he's awfully close to a first down. Maybe just shy.
Coming right at you. Sling it out here, Matthews. Show us how it's done. Right at you. Ooh, check the knees.
Ball roll in on the tackle there.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, Rolls replaced Delvin Breaux at that cornerback position and leads the defense with 5 interceptions this year. I think they just tested him more often than they would Breaux, because Breaux's only got 1 interception on the year, 2 in the career. I just don't think he gets the volume that other people get because people just shy away from going his way.
You know you're good when they don't even throw in your direction.
Yeah. But Roll's been outstanding and knows how to play that corner.
Yeah, top 5 in the league in interceptions so far this season for Jamal Roll.
And you know, you look at Mark Washington's secondary, and he loves these guys, and they bring it every day, and he fully expected these guys to ball and take pride in what they do, and it's exactly what we're seeing.
1st and 10 from the Hamilton 49 for Schultz. 3 receivers to the right. Some pressure coming. He escapes.
He can run
well. Got close back to the line of scrimmage before eventually ran out of room.
Dylan Wynn. He's not going to give us a sack dance, but you got pick your poison there. is you got Simone's fixing to hit you if you keep going outside, and then you feel the pressure coming inside out, and you got 98, Dylan Wynn, who can break you in half if you don't get down, and luckily for Schultz, he did just in time.
A loss of 1, bringing up 2nd and 11 from just over midfield here for Schultz in the Alouettes offense. He's thrown for a touchdown today, but his team trails by a touchdown right now.
John Perberg just told us in our ear that they did give him a sack, but we didn't see the dance. Come on, man.
You really wanted that dance
I wanted to see it.
You did.
I wanted to see it.
That one incomplete. Winicky got a hand on it, but not enough of it. And that'll bring up a 3rd down situation, 3rd and 11 here for the Alouettes.
Little field position game going on here at Boris Beatty. We'll watch DJ Lalama fire one back to him as he's taken over that deep snapping responsibility for Marty Bedard.
Told us earlier today that he was a backup at Manitoba, backup long snapper there. Having the opportunity or being called upon to do it today.
Nice job right there. Nice snap.
That one looks smooth.
Beautiful punt.
Jeez Louise, what a kick. That one bounces
just a little too deep
into the end zone. It will be grabbed, and the Alouettes hobble over him. And it's going to be a safety because that ball came just out over the line, but there is a flag down at the 50.
I mean, he draw that one back, didn't field it cleanly, and it came back out of the end zone. It looked like he reached back and tried to pull it in.
Definitely a safety. I mean, they got that call right for sure, but there was a flag back.
Then we got timeout on the field, so we'll figure this out.
Well, Bradbury trying to get a grasp on what the call was down the field, and we'll give them a couple of moments to sort this out. 28-23, Ticats on top for now. Welcome back to Montreal. Interesting turn of events here. As Steinauer chatting with the officials, had the flag out there.
Yeah, Frankie Williams doesn't catch this ball in the air as it goes in the end zone, and a booming punt from Boris Beatty, and the ball goes out of the end zone. Frankie reaches over the line, the end zone line, pulls it back in the end zone. Orlando, I think, is challenging the call whether it's a safety or not. There it is there. Ball lands in the end zone, takes a funny bounce, goes out of the end zone. Frankie pulls it back.
He touched it when it was out of the end zone.
Yeah.
And then pulled it back inside the end zone. You get a look at it right there.
Yep.
Hands are on it. It's just outside. He scoops it up and brings it back in.
This
and
is
that's where the Alouettes
here. And so on that play, you had that potential, that play aspect of it. Ty Cranston went out with an injury, had a timeout from the sidelines. Now you got a coach's challenge. So in a game that doesn't mean anything in the standings, there's a lot going on in this ball game, and I love it. And on that play in particular, all heck's breaking loose.
Bradbury's on the sideline saying, "Look, guys, the game doesn't matter anyway. You're all locked in. You're hosting the East Final."
Don't tell Orlando that.
Oh, clearly you can watch him right now. Means a lot to him. Looking for win 14, which is. Can you imagine that taking over first year and setting a franchise record for wins? Incredible.
You almost saw it coming a couple years back before he went back to his university and coached there for a year, and then came back under June, and he was given a responsibility, and kind of just things were kind of set up for him to take over. And I think people always felt like he'd be a tremendous head coach and leader of men, which he is, and it's really paying off for the Ticats now.
So far, so good for that man, Orlando Steinauer, and his Ticats, who on the road are just 5-3 so far this year, unbeaten at home, which is good news because they're going to host the East Final against one of the Montreal Alouettes or the Edmonton Eskimos, who will be playing later today. That's the third game in our triple header here on Super Saturday on TSN. Big game for the Riders. Obviously watching what happened last night between the Stampeders and the Blue Bombers.
And again, going back to that ball game, it's really good to see Zach Collaros back on the football field. And surviving some hellacious hits.
Got popped a couple of times.
Yeah, he did, and performed extremely well in his first trip back after the unfortunate situation, first game of the season this year. I mean, just his personal travels this year have been incredible. Just kind of goes to show you that the game is much more than just executing on the football field. You're affected in a lot of ways. A lot of people are affected by trades and whatnot. And Zach Collaros did the Bombers an outstanding job last night.
Let's get the ruling here.
The ruling on the field had been a safety score. Hamilton has now challenged the play for no yards. Also during this play, we had a penalty for holding Hamilton number 89. After review, we did find that there was no yards by Montreal 53. Both penalties will be balanced at the 1 yard line and will be at the 1 yard line. First down, Hamilton.
You know, pretty good job remembering all that.
Wow.
Throwing it out there for us.
Remembering and explaining are two different things. But it was Al.
So when it's all said and done,
so
it'll be 28-21. They won't get the safety.
I don't know. Did he ever say what the play was, what the foul was here? Not the no yards.
Didn't
the
see
foul.
that one.
I never heard what that was. So evidently, it must have been a 5-yard penalty to balance out with the
no yards.
No yards when the ball's on the ground. 5-yard penalty. So therefore, they wash out. First and 10 on the 1.
Let's reset everything. He's Matt Dunnigan. I'm Dustin Nielsen. It's 28-21.
Good luck, Dane.
Hamilton with the lead. And here's Evans from his end zone. He's going to heave one up. And that is caught.
Oh, my.
Are you kidding me? Mike Jones went up. Got that one. Flag on the play as well.
Mike Jones. Just high pointing it. And there could be offensive PI as he pushed off and Tomasin.
Offensive pass interference, Hamilton. Number 13, we're going back to the 1 yard line. Going to stay first down.
That's number 12, but hey, that was a wing and a prayer there, a heave and a prayer. And Jones made a nice play on it, but he cheated in the process. Here's a good look at it. Madison's right there, and they're both kind of touching each other, and that extension in the arm, I think, is what they'll call 24/7.
Gave himself just enough room to make the play.
Yeah.
I was very impressed. Now I feel cheated. Here's Evans. He's going to look over the middle again that time. Incomplete. He was trying to find Tasker, looking for a seam in that defense.
Yeah, you know, you look at Luke Tasker running that and trying to get past the depth of the linebackers that are dropping off into zone coverage, as opposed to Chris Matthews running that same route, and you got a guy that's 5'10", and a guy that's 6'4", 6'5", running that route, and it's like a lot easier to feed it in there to 12 than it is to 17.
Big difference. Here's Evans with 90 seconds remaining in the third quarter. His team up by 7, 2nd and 10. Inside his end zone, dumps this one off, and they'll get it out. And they'll be brought ahead to the 5. He got it to Anthony Coombs, and it looked like Coombs might have been in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he had to make somebody miss. Otherwise, it's a safety, potential safety there, and he made first man miss. And anticipating zone coverage here and running the screen all the way, and you can't get the big offensive lineman out in front of the recognition from the defense. And nice job by Murray forcing that back inside, disrupting the play.
Field position should be excellent here for the Alouettes. We'll see.
Is that the Undertaker music that they're playing here? It was Halloween, isn't it? Coming up. A lot of Halloween parties going on last night. People getting scared in Montreal Alouettes organization too.
And that'll be ran out of the end zone there by Adeleke. Coverage of the MLS Cup playoffs continues on TSN next week, featuring Red Hot Toronto FC with their eyes on a prize following an upset victory over the East top seed NYCFC when they battle Atlanta for a spot in the MLS Cup. Catch the action Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, so I mentioned the Alouettes and Halloween. A lot of spooky stuff going on in this organization. Certainly in that last series of plays, Orlando Steinhauer wanted a challenge for a safety there, and ultimately ended all that. Hamilton gives up a safety. He got what he wanted.
They eventually get their 2 points. It's
kind of spooky.
Simply meant to be. That guy's not dressed up, but he's having a good time.
Maybe it's a mask.
Schultz back out here with time ticking down in the third quarter. His team down by 5 now. Schultz coming in place of Vernon Adams. And there's Eugene Lewis. Flag back by Schultz as Lewis takes us all the way up to midfield. This one might be coming back here. But another big completion for Eugene Lewis. Would have put him over 100 on the day.
Simone's doing Al Bradbury's job now. He's bringing everybody back, telling everybody he got
holding Montreal
held
number 55. 10-yard penalty, remains first down, 1 more play in the quarter.
Landon Rice, the guilty party, right tackle for the Alouettes. You know, it's almost not fair. Just thinking here as we throw Rice on the screen, you never really see offensive linemen on the screen by themselves in a solo shot unless they're getting a penalty.
You're the big man up here.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you ever play football?
No, we didn't have a football team growing up in Cranbrook, BC.
Yeah,
they didn't get a football team until about grade 12.
Well, I would imagine that would have been your position.
I probably would have been on that right side of the line.
We've been talking about you in those holding situations.
I would have cheated a lot, that's true. Now they'll hand it off as Johnson pushing ahead. And he'll put that ball down at the 35 as the third quarter will come to a close with the visitors from Hamilton leading 28-23. Dane Evans having himself a pretty good day. He's got 3 touchdowns, 265 yards, a couple of them to Brandon Banks. Ticats on top.
There's a drink for that.
Hamilton Tiger Cats with a 5-point lead as we get set for the fourth quarter. I think it's been a pretty good day for Dane Evans, but somebody doesn't agree.
No, he's 100 yards shy of his average, 371 over the last 6 games. Yeah, he's got to pick it up here. All kidding aside, this kid's playing extremely well, and he's playing big, which I feel like I am right now.
I was going to say, this is the magic of TV right here.
In reality,
I'm 6'5".
It's like this.
This is my little friend.
That's the way it goes. That's the way I felt that way my entire 14-year career, and it's not going to change. But this is a pretty good position, and Dane Evans has put his team in a pretty good position. I think both coaches got to be happy with their football teams out right now, how they're playing, very competitive, and getting some quarterbacks, some quality time, and getting some rhythm going offensively, and trying to stay healthy as possible.
Well, Evans had 12 touchdown passes in his last 6 games that you were talking about. He's got 3 more here today, so 15 and 7. Hitting a stride here. This is Schultz with some pressure coming. He's got a completion, and that'll be out over the 45 to the big fella, Winicky.
Yeah, and I love that Winicky's having a decent game, because College Game Day was down in South Dakota State and broadcasting there. And they've got a massive war going on there for the Dakota marker, and that's between North Dakota State, and I just absolutely love the fact that these two teams are going at it. And Jake Winicky has played at South Dakota State, knows all about the Jackrabbits.
Probably keeping tabs on that one as much as he can, or has a PVR for later. We'll just push the pile ahead, and eventually everybody will just stand around until they blow it down. A 5-point game. Pretty good game here.
Outstanding game. I tell you, we've been lucky when we broadcast together, getting some quality games, and I love how these stories just kind of write themselves. And I like how these two teams are competing. I like the fact that Montreal is not overlooking what their task is, and they're not thinking that they're going to see Hamilton in the East Final. They're not overlooking the fact that they have Edmonton come to town, and they got to take care of business there before they can do that. There is
situation to Winicky. This one down inside the 50 as Schultz feeding one of his bigger targets out there today.
And you watch him right here. He's just going to run it out. He's just going to run it out here. And he sits wide open. He's thinking. Well, it's nice.
Thought we might see Pipkin today as well, but would you just ride this thing out with Schultz? He's got him in a game here.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if you're going to have to get Pipkin that time because you really don't think that you're going to have to get to number 3 guy at this point. Just get him as much as possible. And still got another game to go. That's
snap ball by Schultz.
Heads up play.
And he just throws it away before they could get to him. I'll bring up second down here in 10.
Yeah, so I'd say you'd ride this out with Matthew. Give him as many reps as possible, and he's been impressive today. I think this does a lot, not only for his confidence, but his teammates as well, in order to move the football fairly consistently against a solid defense in Hamilton.
He's completed 61.5% of his passes today for 81 yards, touchdown and a pick for Schultz. Moves around a little bit as well.
Yep.
A couple of carries for 8 yards.
I mean, it's very, very new into his career, and just not many throws under his belt. These are all meaningful for him. There's another nice one.
That's complete to Eugene Lewis. And Lewis will take it down close to the 27 of the Ticats as Schultz leading his team down the field here in the fourth quarter.
Got a nice tight release for a taller quarterback, and boy, he just knifes this out there nicely. Gets his hips through, and that ball comes out live, and it had to because it had to go a long way, and Eugene Lewis says, thank you. Moving the chains. Got a chance to take a lead here.
Schultz. University ball at Butler. Johnson will fly out to his right. He'll give it to him. But Johnson's maybe got something there. He'll push ahead and take it down close to the 22. So a pretty good little pickup there.
Frankie Williams talk a little noise. Yep. Don't tell these guys this game's doesn't have any meaning. We've seen Jeremiah Johnson running hot most of the day. Got in with Tunde Adeleke here. You see him getting in with Frankie Williams and Matthew Schultz. That's not an easy throw. Puts it right on the money. Gives 2-4 a chance to make something with it. And Frankie goes low, and Jeremiah takes exception to it.
Johnson over 100 yards, total yards today here for this Alouettes offense. This time he'll flare out to the left. Oh, and that one in and out of the hands of Matthews. Would have been close to enough for a first down, and that'll bring up third down here for Montreal.
Well, that's when you want to squeeze there, and Chris knows it. Potentially moving the chains and keeping the drive alive, giving you a touchdown scoring opportunity. Now you're going to have to rely on the battery of Vilama, Schultz, and Beatty. Important to have a holder you trust if you're a kicker. And Beatty, it's Schultz, and with Liram Haralahu, it's Luke Tasker, and he's happy to have him back in the battery over there on the Hamilton side.
First field goal attempt of the day here. This one in the fourth quarter, and Boris Beatty gets the job done from just inside 30, and that makes it a 2-point game as the Alouettes, they were driving the field, had to settle for 3 because of that drop right there from Chris Matthews. 2-point game, fourth quarter in Montreal. Less than 11 minutes remaining on a beautiful day here in Montreal. People maybe even bumped up a little bit more than I was expecting today. It's great here.
Obviously, those girls are on the sunny side, and over here, I imagine it's a little different story. A little nip in the air, but gorgeous Sunday fall afternoon.
Frankie Williams, a good burst. Takes this one back up to the 35, but there's a flag right near the end of that one as he was being taken down.
DJ Lalama drawn in. He's had a busy day.
And all over the place today, yeah.
Long snap and running down on coverage units every time you look up, and then playing middle linebacker for the Owls in place of Enoch Mwamba, who's taking a break.
Looks like this one might be against the Ticats. And that'll back them up to start this drive.
A lot of talk about Enoch sitting down. He can sit down with DeVere Posey, Williams stand back. And Tommy Campbell, Mario Alford.
During the return, illegal block, Hamilton, number 84, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So a lot of guys getting an opportunity to heal up in a game where Kahari's trying to keep rhythm and timing going. Same with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They brought a full complement of players to this park. That's a nice one. Oh, here we go.
Evans finds Banks. Banks will take it up to the midfield. And then he steps out of bounds at the 46. So he might have had a couple more tricks up his sleeve.
It's just, he's so explosive. And both of these teams are. And this is just, he's a climb route. He's just over the top of the defense. And then he starts picking up a head of steam. And it's good luck. If you're Greg Reed there, he hasn't, because you're not going to catch that guy.
He was trying. He was moving, too. Evans is over 300 yards on the day. 3 touchdowns as well. Looking for more here. Empty backfield. 3 receivers to his left and his right. He'll roll to his eyes, too. Another completion. And this one will be taken out of bounds on the near sideline as he goes to Mike Jones. Yeah, Ticats move the ball. They move it quickly, Matty.
Yeah, and this is a nice job by Jones, just finding an open space out here as the quarterback's flushed to his right, and he's running the in route, but he bangs it back out, and he gains leverage on his defender, and Evans finds it.
Jones' first completion of the day, had that big play earlier, but got called on an offensive PI. 4 receivers to the left for Evans. Coombs will slide out there as well. He'll come back over the middle to Ackland. And that's another first down for the Ticats.
Just pick a weapon. You got 4 receivers to the left. You got a running back, Coombs swinging out there. Then he comes backside to a slant route because the corner's way off. And he just takes advantage of that. Says, you're going to give that to me? I'll take it all day.
Moving quickly again here. Evans near side. And that one will be complete as he just dropped it in there for Jones.
That? Oh, my God. Oh, that was traffic in a hurry. The tight window is running out of time. Evans is looking there the whole time, so that's why you get a lot of, it closes quickly as the defender's coming over the top, and Combo just misses that.
That was Reed again, and there's a touchdown. That's 3 for Brandon Banks and his 16th touchdown of the season.
Just one shy, the team record set by Chris Williams back in 2012. Well, that looked pretty easy.
That looked really easy. That whole drive looked easy from the Ticats.
And again, just showing you the diversified attack and the number of weapons that Hamilton is deploying out there. And Dane Evans took full advantage and had the defense spread out all over the football field. Brandon Banks, that's a touchdown pass. That's not a run, that's a pass because it tapped it back in front of him. And that is just, it's a lot to think about if you're going to defend the Hamilton Tiger Cats come to East Line.
5 plays, 90 yards in just 1 minute and 42 seconds. You're not going to see much more of an efficient drive than that all season from any team, and it ended right in the hands of Brandon Banks. Speedy P has 3 today.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, it's been a busy day for Brandon Banks. Something that he's not used to, though. 3 more touchdowns today for Banks. 16 total touchdowns on the season. Doing it in every way, shape, or form we can find here as well. Just a phenomenal talent putting together a huge, huge game here for the Ticats. How are those numbers, Matt?
It starts there with Brandon Banks in this offense, and he's showing you why. He's so explosive in so many different ways, and Tommy Condell uses him awfully well.
Shakir Ryan on the far side of the field. Shakir Ryan getting a little bit of room, and a nice return, setting up some good field position here for the Alouettes. That last drive for Hamilton, we were talking about how efficient was. 4 straight first downs, 4 plays of 11-plus yards, then into the end.
And we're talking about the 2 most explosive teams over the last half of the season at least. Just explosive plays in the last 8 games. The Ticats have just dominated in that. They've had 6 more than their opponents in 6 straight games, and the Alouettes come in with 8 games in a row with more explosive plays. So this is commonplace for both these teams.
Here's Schultz now. Nice little move. Schultz has a first down, slides ahead, and then gets topped right at the end of it.
Nice.
And there's no flag anywhere that I can see. Crowd raining boos down upon Rico Murray.
And I'm watching Schultz here as he's flushed to his right. He pulls it down, makes a nice move on Jared Davis, and then he's sliding there. And take another look at it. It's very similar to what happened last night with Zach Caleros, and eerily similar to what happened at the beginning of the year with Zach as well, with Simone Lawrence. And Rico Murray's asking the Montreal fans here at the stadium to give him more of those boo birds. And Montreal's livid that they have to challenge this play because they think it's roughing on their quarterback. They're going to make him take another look at it.
Kahari Jones will chat with Bradbury. That's exactly what to look at.
Yeah, Kahari's keeping his cool, but I can't say that
Montreal challenging the previous play for roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer is what they're challenging. We'll find out if Kahari Jones wins this one when we come back. Welcome back to Montreal, everyone. Look there at Rico Murray, who's waiting to find out if he's going to be flagged for roughing the passer on a Schultz slide.
Encouraging the fans here.
Let's find out what the verdict is.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands. There is no penalty. Montreal is charged. Their timeout.
Yeah, I think, this game over the last 4 or 5 years now has been people are trying to take the helmet shots and keep quarterbacks safe, and the sliding and the targeting.
Schultz is okay.
Difficult to do.
And he's got a completion, and that'll take them up to the 45 on first down. Winnike's had a busy day here with Noah DeVere Posey and Quan Bray leaving earlier on.
That's tough on Rico Murray or any defender in the league to pull up in full flight. And when you slow it down, it certainly looks like it could have been roughing. But in full speed, well, it's awfully tough to do. And damned if you do, damned if you don't.
2nd and 4 after a 6-yard completion to Winnike. Schultz, pressure coming. He felt it. He dropped the ball. It's laying there, and it comes right back to Schultz, and he'll quickly scoop it up. Breathe a sigh of relief there.
One of the first times we've seen pressure just get to a Montreal quarterback, and that's Davis off the edge. 4-man pressure look there, and both of them coming off the edge, making Schultz step up. He didn't step up quick enough, got a hand in there, knocked the ball loose, and he had to recover it.
Pretty good job by both offensive lines today. Quarterbacks,
I'd say so.
A lot of time today. Beatty to kick this away, standing on his own 45.
Let's watch DJ Lalama snap again. Then Hamilton didn't have enough people on the field, so.
Schultz has been hurried 4 times, hit 8 times, has handled it well.
So Daly had to cover up for Carriel Brooks, who wasn't on the football field. They had to run him in there late, and that's the kind of stuff that drive coaches crazy on the sidelines. People not paying attention to substitutions and where you're at in a football game, and they had to call a timeout. Mike Daly did the best he could, cover Carriel, but they just weren't going to have enough people on the inside. Daly didn't want the gunner to be uncovered, the easy first down pickup if Forrest Beatty had recognized it, so therefore he burned it. Timeout.
Beatty with the kick, a low one that's going to bounce at the 15 and roll out of bounds down inside the 10.
How do you solve that problem? Catch it in the air.
You're right. You're right. That's true. Hard luck, tough love, and big laughs. Sounds like us up here in the booth with you, Maddie. Yeah. There's no other family like the Connors. Get into it all new Monday, 8, 9 Mountain, only on CTV. Yeah, you don't like the way these guys have let these balls bounce a little bit.
No. Losing field position, making silly plays when the ball's on the ground. I'm impressed with DJ Lalama and his snapping ability and tough situation.
Evans backed up here. He'll hand it off and a good push ahead all the way out just inside the 20 before they finally slow down Malik Irons.
It's good to see him healthy and pounding the rock inside.
Leaves him sitting at second and just a yard with that clock ticking down just over 5. 22nd overall pick in the 2019 CFL draft.
Man, a young version of Tyrell Sutton. Powerful, elusive.
Back to him again. Sidestepped one defender, then engaged with a couple of others, and when it's all said and done, he's got his team a first down.
That's nice when you're backed up. You can pound it 2 times and pick up a first down and get out from underneath your own goalpost. That's what Hamilton's offensive line's been able to accomplish here. The big boys eating at the right time.
Trying to seal this thing away on the road.
Look at it. You gotta love those guys.
They'll settle in above the ball again. Irons remains in there to the right of Evans. This time, Evans will keep it, goes back to Banks. And Banks eventually, after picking up a few yards, will hop out of bounds.
Just out of reach of harm's way every time, just high-stepping people, flying at his legs. And I don't even know why this guy's still in the ball game at this point. I mean, this is 10th catch. He's well over 180 yards now, probably 183, somewhere around there, 182. 3 touchdowns. Come on. There's got to be somebody else that can.
You know, somebody out there is saying, no, leave him in. I need the fantasy points.
Yeah, that's right.
He's already got a ton of them so far today, well over 40.
And they just keep 46.3 fantasy points. You spent the money, you're happy.
Give him some more. Give him another good chunk as he takes it up to the 45. And Brandon Banks, statement game here yet again for the Ticats.
There he is. Watch him. Speedy B. If you don't have your eyes on him, he just sits down, nice in between those 2 guys, barely gets touched, picks up a 15.
Closing in on 200.
Man.
Over 200 now.
That's just wrong in so many ways and right. 201.
200 yards receiving for Banks. This time they'll hand it off. Irons puts his shoulder down and barges ahead.
It looks a lot like Tyrell Sutton when he runs the football there.
Looking for the contact, wasn't he?
Yes.
He got it. He also picked up close to 8 yards along the way as well.
Patrick Levels. Getting into it with somebody.
Levels a little fired up. As the Ticats have come from behind here, and they're in full control as we work our way through the 4th quarter. As the game in Montreal winds down, the other 2 East Division teams are getting ready to meet again for the 2nd time in 3 weeks. The Ottawa Red Blacks and Toronto Argonauts, 2 3-win teams. SJ Green and company playing for some pride. That one's coming up from BMO Field in Toronto. Let's go back to Dustin and Matt in Montreal. Pretty good table setter here for Super Saturday on TSN as the Ticats trying to hang on to this ball and push ahead for another first down. They have a 9-point lead on the Montreal Alouettes.
That's another first down, too.
Banks fantasy update, 49.1 fantasy points. And you don't even have them, do you?
I don't have that kind of money.
You'd be way more excited if you had them today. You would lose your mind.
I spent my money on Bo Levi last night. He did pretty good. And I mean, congratulations to Brandon Banks. I mean, the career he's had, and the season he's had, he's, in my opinion, definitely the front runner in the East for MOP. And you know, they talk a lot about Brian Burnham out in the West, along with Andrew Harris, who's got to be in the conversation. It'll be interesting how that plays out. But boy, it's fun watching 16 play today.
3 touchdowns in the career high, 201 yards. Irons on the carry, and now we've got a little more pushing and shoving at midfield. And
that's levels again.
Flag earlier and then another one late.
I don't think there's these guys got to do their jobs, and you got to do full speed. Just get hurt and run over, and that's Jannard Jones going low. And you know, you guys are just tired, banged up.
Discuss that. You saw a look there at Kahari. His team had won 4 in a row here at home. When you're a coach and you coach this game and you take out Vernon Adams, you know, early in the game after a couple touchdown passes, what are you taking away from this one, Matt? Like, as you sit down after to break this one down?
You're really not worried about that score.
Yeah.
You know, they would have liked to get another win here, and it's still not out of the realm of happening. Anything can happen in the CFL, but Hamilton's controlling the line of scrimmage right now, chewing on this clock with a 9-point lead, and I think you take away a lot from it. Your starting quarterback is on his game, lighting it up, really impressive and pushing the football down the field once again, as both these teams have that capability and do it on a regular basis. I think Orlando Steinhauer on his end, he can feel good about his football team.
There are a number of fouls that took place at the end of this play. We have unnecessary roughness. Hamilton 51, Montreal 21. We also have a rough play disqualification for Montreal number 3. These will all balance at the end of this play. We are going up 25 yards, automatic first down.
Patrick Levels,
he was running
ejected.
Hot. He was running hot from earlier in this drive, getting run over, I think, and just trying to get in the way of Malik Irons, and really didn't bring his best on that particular play. And I think that kind of set him off, and he just got walked off the football field because he couldn't keep things under control, and calling it a day early.
Ball will get marched up inside the 30. Hayden Moore now in the game at quarterback, just 2 completions. Hey, 100%. He's 2 for 2 this year for 4 yards.
It's good to see him get in there because, like I said, they're raw behind Dane Evans, who's this is just his 12th start of his career.
Yeah, Watford handles short duty situations, has a handful of touchdowns this year, but outside of Dane Evans, who came in and replaced Mazzoli, none of these guys have really done anything from the quarterback position.
Yeah, and you got to understand, coming to this ball game at this point, just keeping the score in mind, certainly the time of the game and where you're at on the field, conceptualizing where you're at, and just take care of the football, put 3 more on the board, and put this game out of reach, make it a 2-score game.
Hayden Moore, first-year guy out of Cincinnati.
Well, it actually already is. My math was wrong there a little bit. Go figure.
Some early movement there. That's going to be blown down.
Well, these guys are just trying to get to the finish line now.
It's interesting for the Ticats in this game. Their last 4 games, they had leads of 20 or more.
Violation. Hamilton, number 3. Loss of down becomes 3rd down.
Yeah. That's not the conceptualizing that I was looking for.
That's not what you were looking at? No.
I'm sure that Tommy Condell wasn't looking for that either, but that's a tough penalty here under the last 3 minutes. Loss of down and penalty, and now you're looking at a field goal. Now you're a 12-point game.
First work of the day here from a field goal perspective for Haralahu. This one will be straight away.
Well, we talked a lot about Bedard not being in the game and DJ Lalama playing. Well, this is Crawford. Aaron Crawford's been doing it a while now for Hamilton. They got their holder, Luke Tasker, back, and
34-yarder hammered home by Haralahu. And the Nissan Titan player of the game is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power. There's only one way we can go here.
Yeah, and it's an easy choice. The guy is such a threat in so many different ways, and Tommy Condell's happy to use him in all those different ways, and he just made it look pretty easy. A lot of times he was in behind people all alone, and that's the easiest touchdown pass Dane Evans will ever have in his career. Get it in 16's hands, and good things will happen, as they did today, setting a career high and closing in on Chris Williams' all-time mark of 17 for the Hamilton Ticats, set back in 2012. Speedy B's got 16 on the year, matching his jersey number.
Evans taken out of this game now as they brought in more there. He finishes 29 to 36, 379 yards.
Yeah, he's 8 yards over his average over the last 6 games.
And 4 touchdown passes,
I was a little ahead of
the
myself, maybe a little hard on Dane after the third quarter. He still had a quarter to go, and he certainly made that happen.
He got the job done there. This kick will come down to Absher at the 10. And he'll bring it back. Return of about 22 yards, takes it up just over the 30.
So in Dane Evans' first start, we got more stuff going on down there. These guys are running hot right now. And they're just possibly setting the tone for a rematch in 2-3 weeks' time if Montreal can find a way to get through Edmonton.
What do you think about that matchup?
Well, I'll hold off to say what happens later on today.
Yeah.
And see how Trevor plays and coming back, and how he fares with his coming back from his arm injury. And
how much work would you like to get him if you're Jason Moss, do you think?
I think he needs a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hasn't played in a long time.
And I know Trevor wants to play, and I expect him probably to throw the ball 45 times today.
Just flinging around out there today.
I think Shaq Cooper's going to be a big part of that offense today. Brandon Banks, though, getting back to this ball game, he took care of business today. On this year, he's had a spectacular year. And let these numbers sink in. 112 catches, 1,550 yards, and 16 touchdowns.
Pretty decent season.
Yeah. Look at him. Smallest guy probably in the league, and plays bigger than anybody.
Must frustrate a lot of people, I would think. Hey, seeing a guy that small, you can't do anything about it.
Party on the VRL after this.
Hey, VRL, we coming to turn up on the shots, man. 5-hour trip, man.
Oh, man, that train they're taking back ain't gonna be the same once they're done with it. They're having a good time. Look, much like Montreal, and believe me, I made reference earlier to the Washington Nationals and certainly the Houston Nationals playing, and later on tonight, you gotta have a good time on the teams you play with and enjoy the ride. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And these teams have certainly been able to do that this season.
Schultz stepping up in the pocket and dumps it off on the far side of the field. And that will be complete for a first down to Christopher Moa. We'd like to let all of our viewers here on TSN 4 know that we will be joining our next game here on Super Saturday in progress at the conclusion of this game here between the Alouettes and the Ticats. That's coming up. Red, Blacks, and Argos on the way here. Second segment of a triple header.
Moa, second touch in a row. Love to see it. First-year player out of Laval.
Drop it off to him again. 1-2 Vanier's.
Yeah, that's all he does is win. Talked to Jeremiah Johnson about him today. Said, what about this young buck? And he says, oh, man, he's pretty much a downhill runner. And consistent, right? Good to see him get some touches, get a taste of it.
Just 5'6", but well over 200 pounds. 206 and
3 touches in a row.
Pushes ahead for the first down.
I can't tell you how much this does for a young man's confidence, getting just those touches there in a cleanup duty, but it settles you down next opportunity you have, and feels it pay dividends for the young running back.
No stand back today. And Johnson, a pretty good day, over 100 total yards. Now here's Schultz. He can gallop and he'll take off and take it down inside the 50. Pickup of about 5 or 6 for the quarterback for the Alouettes. Just over a minute remaining here. The Alouettes were looking for their first 5-game winning streak at home since the end of the 2014 campaign. They're going to come up short on that one. It'll be a 6th road win for the Ticats.
Best road record since '98, when they were 6-3 under Ronnie Lancaster. May he rest in peace.
Looking for Eugene Lewis. Comes up incomplete. He'll bring up 3rd down. Ticats defense. These guys are fired up. People all across the country talking about this Ticats defense.
As they should be. They fly around.
Great job along that defensive line. Dylan Wynn, double-digit sacks. Shagera Davis, double-digit sacks. Hauser's got 6. Here's Shelton. He's hammered as he let that one go, and it falls incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs.
Simone playing the lumber, too.
Right to the end for Simone Lawrence.
Well, you have to, right? If you're between the lines, you better be bringing it. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in the tub, and you can't make the club in the tub or keep a position. So you gotta be full speed ahead when you're out there, and that's proof in the pudding right there. I'm really excited. He talked, asked me about Trevor Harrison, how long he's going to play in Edmonton. I'm really excited to see him play again. And, you get Zach back in Winnipeg, see Bo playing at a high level, seeing these 2 young quarterbacks, Vernon and Dane Evans going at it.
No media run.
It's
all ball.
Yeah, it's impressive. Cody Fajardo, front runner, as well as MOP out in the West, having the season.
And he's become a legend in Regina.
Earned a big contract this past week. Congratulations to him. And that's there's a lot of good stuff happening.
You talked a lot then about these quarterbacks who, when you do a preseason game earlier in the year, looking at a lot of these guys and you're not sure, what they're going to be or what type of role they're going to play. And we're seeing one of them today here in Evans. We saw Vernon Adams, who had an excellent start. You mentioned Cody Fajardo. He's turned that into a 2-year deal.
You look at Zach Evans, 378 today in the second half alone. He was 15 of 17, almost 88%, 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's like, okay, flex my muscles, start utilizing all my weapons. Malik Iron in the middle there, busting out 10. It's 51 seconds on the clock, and they're still crushing it. It's just a lot of good stuff happening, right?
As a guy who played the position so well in this league, what do you think of these young guys being able to step in and have so much success so early on? It seems so rare for that to happen.
A couple things. Talent around them, coaches getting them teed up, dialed in, and then their skill sets that they're bringing to the table, and they're studying and attacking the game the way it's supposed to be from the inside out, putting the time in order to give himself a chance to be successful on game day.
Dane Evans watching on from the sideline as Hayden Moore will hand that off again to Malik Irons, and a little bit more
Chris Hackey
extracurricular there.
These guys, they are pissed off, and they are continuing to send messages as much as possible, because there is a possibility that we'll see each other again. It's up to Montreal to make that happen. Hamilton's just waiting on who it's going to be.
I'd take this again in an East final with full lineups. Alouettes and Ticats. It'd be pretty fun. Nothing against the Eskimos, and obviously their chances of coming out here and knocking off the Montreal Alouettes. But with the bad blood that we've seen here a little bit between these 2 clubs, I don't think anybody would say no to that, right?
No, not at all. Kalinic is a good guy. He was mixing up there with Aki on that last play, and I'll take him all day in a street fight. It's just you go to war with these guys, and you're sending messages for what could be teed up during a few short weeks.
14 wins on the season for that man in his first year as the head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and hard to say he doesn't have the best team in the Canadian Football League right now. What an accomplishment for Orlando Steinauer.
Yeah, just get to the playoffs. You got to win one game, get to the big show. Then you got to go to Calgary and see who you're going to face. And that's what their focus is. Montreal, they got a little different path going. They got to take care of business next week, continue to get a little momentum going towards the Avs, to keep people towards the playoffs, keep people dialed in and healthy, and then they got to face the Edmonton Eskimos in the East Final. And this, to me, is shaping up to be a heck of a run, and these guys right here, Brandon Banks and the Hamilton Ticats, have set themselves up nicely.
14 wins on the season, 9-1 in their last 10 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Today, it was all Brandon Banks, over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. For Matt Dunnigan, I'm Dustin Nielsen. Let's send it back to Rod Smith in the panel.
Thank you, Dustin.